Yo, it's your boy Sage Jones, aka the Smart Investor. I'm back again. This is the second training video. As you can see, I'm back in my office again. So this particular strategy is called the trend point. I call it the trend point because I'm using a indicator called the BC trend point, and that is actually helping you find entries on the 5-minute time frame going in the trend direction. So what we do is we have our 3 indicators. Well, we have our 3 moving averages, our awesome oscillator, our BC trend point, and we have our support and resistance indicator. Now, that sounds like a lot of indicators, but if you can look at the screen here, it's not congested like it's a lot of indicators. So as you can see here, I'm actually working on building a volatility 75 trade, or building a indice account from $11, trying to push it up to $200, $300 like I've done before. I just enjoy being able to do that. So as you guys know, I have a funded account that I trade on with traditional Forex. So yeah, let's get into it. So what we're gonna have is, you know, if you're here and if you reach this point, you should already know how to add the indicators to your screen. So we have 3 moving averages. Our first moving average, we click here, and our first moving average is 200 smooth close, whatever color you want it to be. We got our second moving average, which is 21 smooth, whatever color you want it to be. And then we have our third one, and that is 10 smooth, whatever color you want it to be. Then we have our awesome oscillator. Our awesome oscillator, we don't do anything with, as long as you realize that you have your levels, that you have a 0 level here, you don't have anything to worry about. So click there. And then we have our support and resistance indicator, right? So what we're doing is a little different, right? So like I said, we're finding our entries on the 5-minute. So what we're gonna do is, with these settings, with the entry indicators, we're gonna change a few things with those, right? So with our support and resistance indicator, we're gonna click that, and we're gonna go to here, and we're gonna choose the time frames, right? So we want all the time frames to be removed. I'm sorry, we don't want all the time frames to be removed. We only want to have the 15 and the 30. So if you go here, you click here in the visualization tab, you're gonna click here, you'll see the minutes. You're gonna unclick this minute area. You're gonna scroll down, and you're only gonna choose 15 and 30, and then you're gonna leave everything else the same. Boom, right? So now we got our support and resistance indicator on our 15, on our 30, on our hourly, on our 4-hour, our daily, and our weekly, right? So now we got that set up, right? We're gonna go to our trend point. Like I said, in this course, these 2 indicators should already be downloaded from the previous video that I told you about. So Go, if you haven't found, if you don't have these indicators, please pause this video, go find these indicators, download them, install them, so that way you are able to follow these trades. So what we're going to do here is we're going to open the trend point, the BC trend point, right? Just like the previous settings, we're going to make sure that the SSP is on 27. We're going to make sure in this strategy that the SSP is on 27. So to change, if the number is different here, just make sure you double click. You can type in whatever number, you can type the number in here. We want to make sure that this thing is on 27. And we're going to go over to the visualization. I'm sorry, I can barely say this word. Visualization tab. We're going to go over once again to the minutes area, drop this down. The difference in the settings on the trend point indicator and the support and resistance indicator is that we only want the arrows to show up on the 5 minute only. So we're gonna go down and we're gonna choose, once again, you see this is checked, you're gonna uncheck it, choose 5 minute, scroll down, make sure all these are unchecked, then hit OK. So now you see that the trend point, BC trend point indicator is only on the 5 minute. It's not showing up on any of the higher time frames. It's only showing up on the 5 minute. Now we're going to get into the strategy, right? So it's a very simple strategy. You're following the trends. You're following the trend. Now, you could follow the trend based off of just what the support and resistance is doing. So if the support and resistance is showing a resistance on all time frames, then you know the market is consistently going down. So you're just going to wait until you get a sell arrow on the trend point on the 5 minute time frame. Once again, like I said, you're only entering from the 5 minute time frame. So if you jump up to the 15 and there's a resistance here, then you jump up to the 30, there's a resistance here. You jump up to the hourly, it's on a resistance here. And then you jump up to the 4 hour, it's on a resistance here. You just know that the market is going down. Sorry, I'm getting signals from the boom and crash thing here. So this is another thing I'm going to be teaching on, but right now we're not going to worry about that. So I'm going to close this. You clear this out, clear up your lines. So what we're going to do is we wait for an arrow to hit on the 5 minute, right? We see that the 10 and the 21 are still below the 200. So that's confirmation that the market's going down. We got our confirmations on all the higher time frames that the market is going down. So what we do is we wait until we get a signal here, which is a signal that I took here. I took this particular signal right here. Took this signal here. And that's how I started to make this, right? And then once we get an adverse signal like this green one here, that's when we get out of the market. We also confirm that we should get out once we see that the awesome oscillator has crossed back above the zero mark here. You got your zero here. It crossed back over it. So if you get an arrow, and this arrow shows that it's crossed back over here, then you just want to get out, right? And that's the meat and the potatoes to this strategy. It's not really much to it. I don't really like these training videos to be really, really long. But nobody else is providing this particular content. So, but we'll go over it again, right? We have 3 moving averages. We have our 200 smooth, our 21 smooth, and our 10 smooth. Then we have our awesome oscillator showing when the market has crossed above and below. We're only taking trades when, since you're in a downtrend, when the awesome oscillator breaks below the 0 point. Once it breaks below the 0 point, then we take our trade. But if it breaks back above, then we just want to be out of it. We want to make sure our trend point, our BC trend point, is only on the 5 minute. I repeat, only on the 5-minute time frame. Do not use this strategy on anything higher than the 5-minute time frame. 5-minute time frame is a sweet spot for this particular strategy. So like I said, we load our BC trend point. We make sure that the SSP is on 27. We go to our visualization. We make sure that this is only on the 5-minute time frame. So there's only signals from the trend point will be coming from the 5-minute time frame. We also make sure that our support and resistance indicator is only showing up on the 15-30 hourly, all the hourlies here, the daily, and that's it. We don't care about the weekly and the monthly. Like, this doesn't matter. And we go in and find our entries. So as soon as I get a signal on the BC trend point on the 5-minute, I'll enter, write it down, 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 adverse signal out. Then get another signal, boom, write it down, write it down, write it down, write it down, until I get an adverse signal, then I'm out. So that is the meat and potatoes of this particular strategy. Like I said, I don't like my training videos to be too long. My strategies are pretty simple, but they will get you in and out of the market at a good point. This strategy works on currencies, volatilities, crypto, most pairs that you use, gold. You just have to make sure you follow the strategy and you follow the settings. If you do anything differently, then you will not be successful at trading this particular strategy. So with that said, guys, happy trading, good luck, and see you in the next video. Peace.